Well, another political enemy indicted. The stake starts now. Good evening and welcome to The Stakes. I'm Tara Setmayer. This is Michelle Kinney. We are the co-founders of the Seneca Project, and we are here with you tonight on another big breaking news day where, I last week it was Comey, or was that 2 weeks ago or 5 years ago? I don't know. It feels like it was like 10 years ago, but it was Comey. Now it's New York Attorney General Tish James. What is the significance of this? Well, first of all, it's unprecedented. Secondly, she's part of the list of people that Donald Trump sent errantly that message to Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, a couple weeks ago that we found out now through the Wall Street Journal. He actually did not mean to post that publicly, telling her, indict these people. They're guilty as hell.
Yeah, I missed that. I didn't know there was something. When did that get published? Was that today?
Today. Coincidentally, today. Yes. And they basically confirmed that he was pissed when he found out that it in fact had gone public. And so they tried to play it off. But yes.
Was it him or was it like one of his people who accidentally posted it?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure. I didn't read the whole thing because it's behind a paywall. Yeah. I don't pay for Rupert Murdoch products. Yeah. So,
it was a Kofifi.
Yes, it was a Kofifi situation, but much more insidious because it was basically him admitting he has an enemies list, which we all already know, but it's just more jarring when it's right in front of you. And
the open, that's what he does.
Yes, he always tells on himself. And he always telegraphs what he's going to do, which is why I don't understand when he does it. People are shocked.
I know.
I'm like, he told you.
I know.
More than once. Like, I'm not understanding. So here we are with New York Attorney General Tish James. It was her, Comey, and Adam Shifty Schiff, Donald Trump's nickname, on that. So imagine what he's actually saying that we haven't seen. Okay. Right. God knows what those text messages are. New York Post already on it. Right. Speaking of Rupert Murdoch owned papers.
New York Post. There was, I think I probably said this to you before, but when I used to work at a bar and I was like the daytime bartender, we always had the newspapers out.
Yeah.
And, the old timers would come in and read. And I remember one of them came in and said, the New York Post, if you squeeze it, blood will come out of it. And like basically saying like what horrible, damaging newspaper it is and that it's nothing but garbage. And I'm like, that's accurate.
The thing about it though is that they have the best front page headlines.
Definitely.
Like the front page of the Post is like, and page 6 and they cover the Giants. They have a good sports section. So it like kills me because I do read the Post for Giants and Knicks news. But
when it's a really good historical moment. I mean, I went to the bodega many times in the last 4 years to get Donald Trump indicted again, Donald Trump convicted. And I always picked up one of the New York Post. I actually think I have an extra one here for you that I
was going to say, didn't I ask you to get me one of those?
It's in my drawer here somewhere. Not in the Daily News, but the New York Post definitely is on another level.
Yeah, they have iconic front pages. I mean, the 9/11 one. It is, but unfortunately, they're hacks when it comes to their news, and here we are already.
Yeah.
They are because, Rupert Murdoch is a tabloid guy. He knows what sells. And so it's not just here, it's also overseas. So, but I don't know if people were you able to grab the Tish James statement, what she said? Yeah. Okay. So if you're just catching up, Tish James is the New York Attorney General. She is the one who took Donald Trump to task in his businesses and got the conviction and a humongous fine for his pretty much illegal business practices that everybody knows was going on, with him inflating. You talk about mortgage fraud, which is what they're accusing her of. They're of bank fraud.
name it, you know,
Right.
and
Yeah.
frauding the frauding. Like it's,
Yeah.
you know,
I mean, that's what she went after him for, which was
cheating
actually provably egregious.
right,
And
cheating children's cancer things too. I
right,
mean,
with
like,
the kids, yeah.
it goes.
Yeah. And so here they are accusing her of bank fraud and making false statements. And what is that about? So she helped her niece buy a house in Norfolk, Virginia. They indicted her in the Eastern District of Virginia, which is the same place that Jim
Yeah.
Comey was indicted, with under the same um, amateur, non-prosecuting experienced lawyer, this Lindsay Halligan, who was a beauty pageant person that Trump knows from. She was on
With
his
Erica Kirk.
right with Erica Kirk, and she was on his legal team as an insurance attorney, by the way, with Alina Habba, who was the parking garage attorney. They were on Trump's legal team when he was going through the other cases that he lost. And that's how they all know each other. So we have basically the blonde version of Alina Habba in Virginia, who, by the way, before we play Tish James' response, who there is some question about the legality of her appointment, which I learned earlier today, because the U.S. attorney who was in her place before, this guy named Eric Siebert, who was actually a professional guy,
Right.
a real attorney, and the Eastern District of Virginia is the equivalent of the Southern District of New York. It's like the Southern version of the Southern District of New York. This is where a lot of the terrorism cases and like major national security cases happen in that district.
Okay.
That's the Alexandria courthouse. So a lot of like the 9/11 guys that were
that's like the CIA,
yes,
yeah.
intelligence, national security, that kind of stuff happens in the Eastern District of Virginia. Right. So like the Southern District, is like, don't fuck with the Southern District. It's the same thing with the Eastern District when it comes to those kinds of cases. And it's known as the rocket docket, where if you want something to go through, it doesn't take 10 years to go through the Eastern District. It's known as a rapid fire docket. The judges get on it and they move cases through. So it was no accident that the New York Attorney General is being tried in a federal court in the Eastern District because of what happened. They how they even came to this was because of Bill Pulte, who is the head of a very obscure federal housing agency that has access to every single one of our mortgages. So if you have a mortgage on your home, this agency has access to it. And they started looking for things on people. They did the same thing to Lisa Cook, the first black woman to ever be on the Federal Reserve, right? So she's got a 14-year term. She's only a year and a half or so into it. They don't like her for all the reasons. Just pick one. And they looked for something, and this guy goes into her mortgage records and sees that there was a paperwork error where they checked like 2 residences as a primary residence. This happens often. You have to prove intent that you fraudulently did this. Most people don't do that. When you mischeck a box on, if you've ever filled out a mortgage application, it's like, it's crazy. It's crazy. So, but that wasn't grounds. And for her to be removed because it had to be negligence in her job as a Federal Reserve person. And so a judge basically put a stay on that and said, you can't fire her. So she's still in place. But this same guy went searching for something on other people and came up with this with Tish James, who a similar thing in the paperwork, helping her niece buy this home. I guess she helped. She was maybe the co-signer on this mortgage
or something like that.
Right. So one of the box that it was her primary residence got checked, but here's the caveat. She wrote in a power of attorney, this is not my primary residence. She made an attestation that this was like a declaration. This is not my primary residence more than once in the paperwork. So it was clear that was, checked by accident because maybe, because it was a co-loan, her niece checked it because it's her primary residence. So Tish James, as a brilliant lawyer, and people who know her, she knew what she's right. She made sure that she got it in a document that said, this is not my primary residence. And so that's why multiple people who looked at this case, serious people, looked at her case and said, get the fuck out of here. There's nothing here.
Yeah,
There's nothing here. So, because serious people who are actual lawyers who don't want to waste the resources of a federal district like this one, as important as this one, not saying they all aren't important, but this one in particular, they're not going to waste federal resources on some bullshit like this because they knew it was trumped up. Same thing with Comey. It's trumped up bullshit. Well, a lot of them either got fired or they resigned over it.
Right.
And then Eric Siebert basically said, well, I'm going to resign or fired, whatever. There's still a dispute about whether he was fired or resigned over it. But the point is that it was over these bullshit prosecutions. So they handpick the next Barbie to come in who has, again, she was an insurance attorney, has zero experience in a courtroom. And when she did the Comey indictment, she walked in by herself. She had no other attorneys with her because there was nobody else in the office that was willing to do it because they said in protest, they were like, yeah, we don't want anything to do with this.
Because like, I mean, here's the other thing. I mean, she could get disbarred.
Correct.
I mean, for, you know, misrepresenting things. I mean, listen, if you're on that side of it, it doesn't matter why or how or any of these things. But if, as the attorney yourself, as the prosecutor, if you're misrepresenting a case or making shit up or making things out worse than they actually are, I mean, you're putting yourself in a really precarious situation as an attorney.
I'll never understand why so many people are willing to put their professional lives at risk for Donald Trump.
For Donald Trump, I don't get it.
I don't know, Michelle.
I don't know why it scares people. I don't know why people do it. Like,
it's a
charming at first. Like, he is like, do you know what I'm saying?
Maybe a little, but like that wore off a long time ago.
No, it's like in every single person who does it. Every single one of them.
Yeah. There's more who do than don't, which is just hard to fathom. And I always say volumes will be written about this time period and why people did this, like the political psychology behind this cultish obsequience to Donald Trump. Like I can understand like a JFK or something, you know, charming, good looking, smart, like, you know, even a Barack Obama.
Right. Or like gives like he like gives the essence of being kind or
right.
You know, or something. I don't know.
Something. Even Bill Clinton, I guess. I could get it. I get it. Sort of.
No redeeming quality.
This guy, I'll never understand it. But anyway, we are where we are. So because this Eric Siebert actually was again an interim U.S. attorney, there's a similar argument happening in New Jersey with Alina Habba, whether because her 120-day term expired, the next person is supposed to be appointed by a district judge, which is what happened in Jersey. They did that, but then the Trump DOJ and Bondi people said, we don't want you. So they fired that person. And like, there's like what's happening in New Jersey. Same thing now in Virginia. There is some question behind whether this Lindsay is legal in her position, because it says in the statute the 120 days, it doesn't say like you get to do it again. Right. Because the whole point is you're supposed to go through Senate confirmation. The president does get to pick who he wants, but they're supposed to be Senate confirmed.
Yeah. Checks and balances. Imagine.
Right. I know. What a novel idea. I mean, like, what? How nice.
And funny enough, one of the attorneys who went and filed I don't know what the legal terms are here, but brought up that Alina Habba is not here legally, guys, like do something about it, was Julie's husband.
Yes, that's right. That is correct, because they had clients, right, with cases before this, and they're like, this isn't legal here. Her charging people and stuff. How is this legal? And I think he won, right? They got it thrown out.
Yeah, the day of the Charlie Kirk thing that happened, I was over there and I was
had
run out to go get sushi or something. So I sat and talked to him for like half hour about it. And I was like, this is fascinating, but also, oh my God.
Well, the thing about this whole like 120-day thing, it's one of those like archaic rules. It's like in the statutes on like a subnote somewhere. For most people, it's never been an issue before, but now it is, because these guys are doing that. Right. They're like all in the weeds, exploiting certain things.
The kakistocracy of 2025 in America.
Yep. But some of them are very cunning. Like they're exploiting these little loopholes and these little things that they're getting away with that no one was paying attention to. They've been dusting off the title codes and stuff to see where they can fit it in here. Same thing with the Insurrection Act and all of these things. This, Alien and Sedition Act of 18, whatever the hell, you know what I mean? Like most people haven't looked at those things since they were in law school or constitutional law professors.
Right.
But these guys, what do I always say? They've been fantasizing about this forever. Mike Lee said that about Russ Vogt, that he's been fantasizing about doing this stuff since puberty, which is gross.
Use
to
the
think
word about. Puberty, in which I'm like, listen, why are y'all always talking about each other's privates or puberties or what you're doing behind the thing? Stop.
I know.
Stop using those words. You could have just said since he was a kid. You could have just said that. But
that's right.
And that's weird.
It's weird.
We're the freaks. So
I know. Right.
Anyway.
We're the ones. We're the pedos, apparently. Like I don't get it. I don't know. The whole thing is so untoward. But again, it's always what every accusation is a confession with these people, right?
Always.
I mean, when was the last time you heard of a major Democratic figure or advisor to a major Democratic figure getting arrested for child sex or porn or molesting a child or trafficking? Or it's been a while. But on the Republican side, it's how many? There's a new one every week.
Matt Gaetz. Before Pam Bondi was Matt Gaetz.
Right. Matt Gaetz. So, I mean, these people Matt Gaetz was one of the first people that Donald Trump named and had to withdraw because people flipped out.
It would have been worse I don't know.
I mean, I think it would have been
about the same, maybe.
About the same.
Yeah.
He's a horrible person too, with no moral compass, and she's just got tits. So that's basically the difference. So, right? I mean, let's just be honest about it. Same thing. Well, or whatever those are, whatever that is happening with her. I don't know. But again, horrible people willing to do Trump's bidding, and they just put a softer face on it because they're women, but they're just as vicious and awful and deserve to be the same place in hell as the rest of them. So, so we go back to what's happening with Tish James. Another thing too, and I'm probably going to write about this. There's a whole backstory with Bill Pulte and the fact that he basically bought his job. Yeah, his wife gave a $500,000 donation to Trump's super PAC after January 6th, when Trump was trying to rehabilitate his image and the party was like not sure what they were going to do. He did through a shell company, boosted him with a $500,000 donation to his one of the super PACs. And guess what? They didn't claim it properly, and there was an FEC complaint about it, and nothing got resolved until this year under Trump's FEC. And shocker,
the FEC moves at a glacial pace, like it's with a lot of these government agencies. They don't move fast enough,
right? And there was no wrongdoing. It was a slap on the wrist. Yeah, they should have disclosed that it was a shell company, but
1,500 pardoned insurrectionists, it's no big deal. I mean, but here's the thing: it's like this is part of the Trump brand. Give me money and I'll give you a job. I mean, you look at Robert F. Kennedy Jr. He made a deal with the devil there as well. And he's, look what he's doing to all of us.
Right. All of them.
Nobody cares.
Billionaires dominate the cabinet, but Trump is the guy, the candidate, the president of the little people. Make it make sense.
Right.
Like the elites. The Democratic elites. There's billionaires, multiple ones on your cabinet.
I'll never understand.
But you think they're for you? Get the fuck out of here. Like, it's crazy. There was not enough emphasis on that. Which is another reason why we often lean into the idea that Donald Trump has betrayed his voters, because he sold them a bill of goods, told them this and made all kinds of promises. We're going to bring prices down. I'm going to take care of you. We're going to get out of foreign wars. We're going to whatever bullshit he told them. And it's been the complete opposite. He's been screwing people over. Farmers are going bankrupt and losing their farms and committing suicide at record rates. Veterans are getting screwed over. The government is shut down. Prices are higher. Interest rates are teetering. Inflation is up. Like, all of these things are not what Donald Trump promised. So he's betrayed them. Rural hospitals are going to close. Insurance rates are going up. What happened to affordability? What happened to the price of eggs going down? What happened? All of that's bullshit. It's all going up. And I don't know. Are Trump's people paying attention? I'm not sure.
Well, that's the thing too. And I've never understood how people can't wrap their mind around the fact that Donald Trump, it's not even just an expression or a figure of speech. Like, he literally does not care about anything unless it benefits him. He does not care about anything unless he is centered in it. He would sell his own children down the river if it meant he was going to get richer or there was something in it for him.
Yep. Which is what he's done to the country, which is why I'm very skeptical about the fact that they sent two real estate guys, Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff, to go negotiate this peace deal in the Middle East.
No, if anyone's buying that, I got a bridge to sell you.
Exactly. I guarantee you they sold that property. They're going to end up building luxury condos in Gaza. I'm telling you that God knows the whole thing with Qatar and the UAE and crypto and all that shit. It's all a money scheme. Just follow the money, follow the money, follow the money.
With Qatar, Pam Bondi, she's getting, I mean, like, hello.
Yes, she was a lobbyist for the Qataris. Like, it's also incestuous and insidious. And you follow the money. That's what Tish James did. And that's why she's on the other side of an indictment now. But she is not backing down. The Tish James that I know, who is fierce and fabulous and fearless, she gave this defiant statement today, and good for her. And we're going to play it.
Yep, here it is.
This is nothing more than a continuation of the president's desperate weaponization of our justice system. He is forcing federal law enforcement agencies to do his bidding, all because I did my job as the New York State Attorney General. These charges are baseless, and the president's own public statements make clear that his only goal is political retribution at any cost. The president's actions are a grave violation of our constitutional order and have drawn sharp criticism from members of both parties. His decision to fire a United States attorney who refused to bring charges against me and replace them with someone who is blindly loyal not to the law, but to the president is antithetical to the bedrock principles of our country. This is the time for leaders on both sides of the aisle to speak out against this blatant perversion of our system of justice. I stand strongly behind my office's litigation against the Trump Organization. We conducted a 2-year investigation based on the facts and evidence, not politics. Judges have upheld the trial court's finding that Donald Trump, his company, and his 2 sons are liable for fraud. I'm a proud woman of faith, and I know that faith and fear cannot share the same space. And so today, I'm not fearful. I'm fearless. And as my faith teaches me, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. We will fight these baseless charges aggressively, and my office will continue to fiercely protect New Yorkers and their rights. And I will continue to do my job.
Hell yeah.
She's a badass.
I will vote for her again 1,000,000 times. I love Tish James. She is fantastic.
Listen, when I had the opportunity to hang out with her at an event in June, I saw her, I don't fangirl over many people, but the fact that she had the temerity to take it to Donald Trump and do the right thing and use the law properly to finally bring some accountability to this bastard, in some way, shape, or form. I just think she's fantastic. And I was there. My husband was with me at the event, and she walked over to me and said, "You are a Spitfire. You give them hell, and I love you." And I was like, wait, me? I was like, I'm sorry. I was so humbled by that. And I was like, I'm sorry, that means that's you. And I think you're fantastic. And she was just awesome and cool. And I adore her. But I will say that there was a more sobering part of the conversation. And it was actually me, her, and Susan Rice standing together and talking about this. And she said, listen, I know he's coming for me. This was in June. She's like, I know he's coming for me. But you know what? Let him bring it on. Let him
Yeah.
bring it on. I know what I did was the right thing to do, and I stand on that. But she knew. She called it. She knew it, and she's been prepared for this. And it sucks because she shouldn't, like, this shouldn't even be a consideration.
No.
But she's lawyered up. She's got Abby Lowell, who's one of the best lawyers out there. He was Hunter Biden's lawyer. He's one of the top lawyers in this space. He knows this district. He knows the lay of the land. He's been down this road before, so she's in good hands there. And she's in just good hands in general. I believe firmly the law is on her side here, and this will probably, let's pray, on October 24th, I think is when she has to go in for her arraignment or whatever it is that it gets thrown out. But a lot of legal experts who've looked at this, same thing with Comey, which is why they're both so resilient and confident in their positions, because Comey basically said a similar thing.
Yeah.
A little more controversial with how people feel about him. I get it. Than Tish. But I texted her tonight and said to her, we stand with you. Anything you need, you just let me know. There are millions of people that stand arm in arm with you. And she said, thank you. And the fact that she even responded in the middle of all of this, I thought was just goes to show you that she's just real. And we need to support her in this, and anything we can do to support Tish and call out this political prosecution, because that's the bottom line of what it is.
He said, I am your retribution.
Yes.
And whether or not people wanted to take that seriously is, to your own peril,
Yeah, that's right. And here we are. And the timing of this is just kind of dumb, because it's like one of those things where it's like CNN was all about the peace in the Middle East deal, which I'm extremely skeptical of. I mean, if they bring the hostages home, great.
Yeah, really quick. I don't know if you saw in our group chat with JoJo, she shared a tweet from Midas Touch. I don't know if you saw this.
I did not see this.
They reported at 6:22.
That's why I didn't see it.
Yeah, I'm just seeing it now.
Yeah. Well, I just had Marcel bring me my phone, because I realized I was like, that's why you saw me typing. I was like, bring me my phone.
I was like, oh, is she writing to me? So
no. I don't have my phone.
This is the
United I have it now.
Oh, good. Well, it says, Midas Touch reporting, the United States is deploying about 200 troops to Israel to help support and monitor the ceasefire deal in Gaza. U.S. officials say Thursday, according to the AP.
So you know what this is about, right?
No, I do.
Well, let's enlighten the rest of the class, shall we? Does everybody remember when Donald Trump was first asked about this months ago, and he said that he was going to deploy American troops to occupy Gaza to clear it out so that they could basically build?
Yeah, and then he posted that AI video of Trump cells.
Yes. Yeah. That insane AI video with him and Putin, him and Netanyahu drinking like pina coladas or whatever the hell. I mean,
oceanfront property,
Yes, with like Trump Tower fountains and people thanking him. And so this is, what did I just say? I'm skeptical of what was promised.
No one should ever take this seriously for a couple of reasons. Number one, because of Netanyahu and what he has to lose if this war ends.
Yep.
He is a tyrant. He is a horrible, monstrous human being who does not want this war to end, because he knows that if it does, that he can lose his power and he will be tried in international court for war crimes.
Yeah.
So there's that. Second of all, the other side of this, I think sometimes people lose sight of this, is Hamas. Yeah. Hamas is representing the innocent people of the innocent Palestinians living in Gaza. And Hamas is similar to Netanyahu in the fact that they have an interest in continuing this conflict. They have no interest in peace.
No.
They don't want it either.
They're terrorists.
Hamas is a terrorist organization, quite literally negotiating with terrorists.
Yes.
So we're dealing with two sides here, and it's very unfortunate. I mean, it's more than unfortunate. It is horrendous and a humanitarian disaster in so many ways.
Yes.
The people of Gaza are suffering, and there's there is literally no one looking out for them and fighting for them.
I know.
At the end of the day here. But like, And listen,
there are a lot of Israelis and
Israelis
Jewish
want this.
diaspora that's not okay with what's happening to the people in Gaza. So just to be clear here,
Yeah.
Netanyahu is not the people of Israel.
No,
The
he's
people
not
of
even the people of Jews.
Right, because the people in Israel have been marching in the streets, hundreds of thousands of them, all quite often, every weekend, a lot. Like this
Yeah.
is some bullshit.
All
So
in
just to be
Israel and
clear
across
here,
the world. And that's it. And Julie and I talked about this the other day, is that, you know, and she's like, I could go on about this all day, is that not Netanyahu and the diaspora, like the Jews around the world, are in greater danger now
yes,
because of Bibi Netanyahu and what he has done.
yeah,
What he's continuing to do. And I think that that's being proven with the violence against Jewish people around the world. Not
we just saw what just happened in Britain on Yom Kippur, right?
Right. Jewish people don't want this.
No,
and that's, it's just the whole thing. And that's where like it is a terribly nuanced and complicated
it is.
issue and part of the world. And you're dealing with powerful people and so much money and people suffering and death. And like, it
and
is
also like thousands of years of conflict here that you know predates all the existence of America. You know what I mean? This is a biblical conflict.
Yeah. And Kristen McCall yes, even inside Israel, Netanyahu is hated. Yes.
Now he didn't used to be, which is there's a lot here with that, and it's changed. The dynamic shift has changed over the 20 years that he's been in Israeli politics. There was a point where Netanyahu was beloved because he kept Israel safe, and he was actually sane in his approach to security. And then Donald Trump came around, and he got himself also in trouble in domestically at home, and tried to do things to save his own ass and to keep himself out of jail. This is Netanyahu now.
He has attached himself to the hardest
far right
extremists in Israel. And so he does everything to keep that faction of his support happy. And
that is correct.
To the detriment of thousands and thousands of
That's right. And he even started doing things, because when I was there in 2018, and the people that I was meeting in the Knesset, and like the people, the Palestinian representatives, and what was going on in the government there, it was right around the time when Netanyahu was starting to get into legal trouble and it was under, Trump's first term. And then he started starting to see what Trump was doing and getting backing and realizing that, well, as long as Israel has the backing of the United States, and Netanyahu can get pretty much away with anything he wants. And so he knew, but then under Biden, it was a little bit different, and they were like, oh shit. And so, the dynamic shift, and it's just the Israeli people were like, okay, you got to go. Like we're tired of you. Now you're messing with our Supreme Court. Like he started doing with the Supreme Court stuff 2 years ago,
even the week
before October 7th.
Yes, the 2 weeks before October 7th, there were people marching in the streets in Tel Aviv, like every single day against Netanyahu.
Yes, and I didn't realize how long that had been going on until I was at a conference in Germany, that conference I go to in Bavaria, and I was talking to a former Israeli prime minister who will remain nameless, but we bonded over Israeli wine in the Golan Heights, which is the best wine I've ever had in my life. And I've had wine all over the place, including Italy, which everyone knows I love, but the best red wine I've ever had in my life was in the Golan Heights. But anyway, and he was telling me about this and how the people in Israel, and that it had been going on for months consistently, and that it was still happening then. That was in September of 2023. So that's the timeline that you're talking about, because that was only a couple of weeks before the god-awful October 7th terrorist attack. And so I didn't realize that, because people stopped covering it. But the people in Israel, they were still like, what Netanyahu's doing, we're not okay with it. He's got to go. So I say all this to say that you have all of this going on, and these dynamics overseas and at home. And it's just, people just, I don't know. We have to kind of tie it all together, because it all actually does matter.
It's all connected.
None of all connected.
It's a standalone issue or problem. Like one thing leads to another. Follow the money, follow the power, follow all of it.
It does. And the through line here is, how is Donald Trump getting enriched? So there's only two things that matter to Donald Trump: getting more money and power, and retribution against his enemies.
Mm-hmm.
Because he never lets anything go. Just ask Mary Trump. She will tell you, read her book, her first book about growing up a Trump and how vicious he is and has always been since he was younger. He never lets anything go. And that's leads us to the next topic, which is the government shutdown, which is now ongoing. We're almost, 2 weeks into this thing. What are we, 9 days into it, 10 days into it?
Something like that. Yeah. It was October 1st, right?
October 1st. So what is this? The 9th? Yeah. So 9 days into this thing. And there are government workers who are working, like my husband, who will not get full paychecks tomorrow because their pay period, part of it falls past October 1st. But they still have to go to work and they are working without pay. And Donald Trump is threatening to use the back pay, which by law, they're supposed to, furloughed workers are supposed to get their back pay so that you could not use them as political pawns because you're dealing with people's lives here, okay? Their livelihoods. He's threatening, well, maybe we won't give them back pay. If you're furloughed, we don't like you. It's a Democratic agency, which there's no such thing, people, okay? No such thing as a Democrat agency. There's no such thing as Democrat programs. These are programs for the American people. And these are the programs that Donald Trump doesn't like, that's on the list. It's on the chopping block of the Project 2025 fantasy list, okay? That's what this has all been about. And the Democrats, to their credit, are holding the line this time, fighting on behalf of the American people, fighting on behalf of healthcare for millions of people. When you have Hakeem Jeffries and Marjorie Taylor Greene on the same side of something, I'm waiting for the asteroid to come. I'm like checking it out. I'm an amateur astronomer. So I'm like checking the apps. Is there something heading toward us that I don't know about?
Something that we don't know.
Right? Is there something happening that we don't know in the cosmos? Is Mercury in retrograde? What is happening? Marjorie Taylor Greene and Hakeem Jeffries are actually singing from the same hymnal. On this issue with who to blame for the shutdown, which is Republican leadership. Let's start with Marjorie Taylor Greene, please. And then we're going to get into Brooklyn Hakeem, because if you guys are regular viewers of this show and you are regular watchers of me on TV, of things that we say here, I have been calling for Brooklyn Hakeem to come out for months.
You and I feel like you're the only one, because I haven't really heard anybody using that. I'm just saying.
I will take credit for it if it's deserved, but I've been saying it. It's on tape. It's documented. And all of a sudden we're hearing Brooklyn Hakeem out here. And I was like, that sounds familiar. Who else has been saying that? We're going to get to Brooklyn Hakeem in a minute. Let's play Marjorie Taylor Greene, which I cannot even believe I'm even talking about this like this, but she made sense today.
There we go.
Strap in, folks. This is Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Speaker Johnson of delaying the swearing in of Arizona's Democratic Congresswoman-elect because she would give the last vote needed to release those Epstein files. I'm wondering, the Speaker, for his part, he has denied that. He said it's because of the shutdown. Have you spoken to him? Do you think she should be sworn in right away?
Well, I'll say it like this. I can't conclusively say if that's why the House is not in session, but the House should be in session. And the House should be in session for many reasons. We have appropriation bills that need to get passed. There is a new Democrat that's been elected that does deserve to be sworn in. Her district elected her. We have other bills that we need to be passing. And if it's to avoid the discharge petition, why drag this out? That is going to have 218 signatures. And so I say go ahead and do it and get it over with.
Okay, I'm going to play the second clip here where she talks about health.
Yeah, and I'm going to cover my head in case the asteroids come in.
We track all the calls that come into my office. About 60% of the calls coming in right now are calls of support and saying, yes, health insurance is a crisis. They're telling us stories about how they're already paying $2,000 a month with $10,000 deductibles. I'm getting phone calls from people that are saying if the ACA tax credits expire, they aren't going to be able to have health insurance. They're going to have to drop it. But I'm hearing from people on both sides, people already on the ACA and people that are already getting crushed by high health insurance premiums.
Cut the ad. Cut the ad. Democrats, you people with lots of money, We'd love to cut the ad. We
Yeah.
don't have the money to do it, to play around like that, because this is like play money ad stuff where you should really be like, if we had the play money to do it, trust, we would be cutting the ad with Marjorie Taylor Greene in her own words, talking about how the health insurance is going up, the ACA, how the impact of that, and blaming Republican leadership for not being in session and doing their work. And they're responsible for the government shutdown. The ad writes itself. And you put that out there to fuck with the MAGA folks in red districts, to start planting the seed that Donald Trump and Republicans are betraying you. And Marjorie Taylor Greene said it, not us.
And here's the other thing about Marjorie Taylor Greene. And I, a lot of my friends were actually texting me today. My friends who follow politics but don't work in politics. Oh my God, did you see this? Marjorie Taylor Greene, like, what the hell? Like, she's so crazy. Why am I agreeing with her? And I said, listen.
Crazy like a fox.
Crazy like a fox. She's certifiable, okay?
Oh, she's a nut.
Her views and her behavior are hideous. However.
So are her pull-ups. If anybody's ever seen the CrossFit videos, I don't know what the hell that is.
Like, she's doing the uneven bars. But here's the thing. She's not stupid.
Nope.
Marjorie Taylor Greene, come at me all you want, is very bright.
Yes.
She is crafty. She knows what is needed. A lot of her stuff is an act. Like, I mean, like the craziness, like it's on purpose. She knows what she's doing. And yes, the fact that she's dating Brian Glenn from Right Side Broadcast News is a whole nother thing. But she's
a millionaire, by the way. She's quite wealthy.
She's worth like about $15 million.
Yes.
She's built herself an empire in Georgia, and
construction, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or something like that, like trucking or
something like that. Yeah.
But she should never be underestimated.
Nope.
Do not underestimate her in a similar fashion of underestimating Donald Trump in 2015. Do not count her out. Take her seriously. Because she is, listen, she's breaking away from the cult in several different ways. First being with the Epstein survivors, when she was out there on the steps, the Capitol steps with the survivors. Listen, whether she was doing it was a self-serving, strategy. I don't really care, because quite frankly, she being out there or, when she was out there speaking, it mattered. It mattered that she was saying those things. It really just did.
I was shocked. I was in Italy. I was in Sicily.
I was verklempt.
Like sitting on the beach in Lipari. Okay. For people who know the Aeolian Islands, I was actually sitting on the rocky beach of Lipari, listening to this live because I can't turn it off and I'm crazy, whether I'm on vacation or not. It could have been my anniversary, which it was. Listening to this on the beach, saying to myself, wait, is that Marjorie Taylor Greene? We were in the group chat. We were like, I can't believe I actually agree with her. She made sense. I'm like, that was Marjorie Taylor Greene.
And it was a powerful statement.
Yeah, I know.
Very powerful statement. So she's breaking away from Trump on that. She's continuing to. Listen, whether or not she'll end up doing it, she has offered to the survivors, like, give me your own Epstein list. I will read it on the floor. Okay, we'll see if she ends up doing that. But now breaking
the irony.
I know. Now, well, because and I was just saying to my friends here, visiting from Tennessee, and we were talking before I came on, and we were talking about her. And she's like, I can't even believe this. I go, well, listen, she was part of QAnon.
Yes.
What is like the through line of QAnon is that there is this billionaire cabal of pedophiles.
Yep.
Okay, and
she's got to keep her street cred with those people.
And also, there is a cabal. This wasn't the people that she thought it was, or that the QAnon people thought it was.
That's true.
So there's that. And listen, and she's horribly racist. She's homophobic. She's horribly anti-Semitic. There's like
horrible.
And it's like, I saw someone be like, she's trailer trash. Like maybe on the outside, but she's not.
But actually, she's not.
Not.
Yeah. That's why we brought up that she's a millionaire.
Take a look at her house. She lives in a beautiful home. She's very rich. She has like grown ass children. And so, so I say all that to say, she's going to run. She's aiming higher because she knows that Donald Trump is dying.
Yep.
And that he is on his way out. And when he does, when that does happen, there is going to be a small window of opportunity for someone in the movement.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this movement on the right that is broken up into many different pieces and many different voices and ideologies and different groups of people they hate.
Well, the Epstein thing has really exposed that divide. You also
Yes.
had like the crypto bro stuff with Doge
Right.
and like the tech bro guys. You've
But
got
what
that.
Thiel and Elon Musk end up
Yes.
on the Epstein files too, like he's on. So, you know, there's more to this.
Yeah, there's
there's
cracks.
This, right. So there's this little window of opportunity where someone is going to want to come in, and fill that void quickly. Now, JD Vance thinks it's going to be him.
It's not.
It's not. It's not. Now,
sorry, Prance. It's not going to be you.
Our former coworker, okay, wrote a Substack about this, and it came across my Apple News or whatever, because someone had written a story about it
Recently?
Like the last couple months, I think. And it was something about like they had a source, you know, that was telling them that there was a very small circle of people inside the White House.
Oh, this is the Susie Wiles. Yes.
Like this person didn't say who it was.
I'm just going to tell people.
It's Susie Wiles.
It's Susie Wiles. Susie Wiles likes to talk.
Like, because I know, but I'm saying based on the history of me knowing about conversations, I'm telling you that it was Susie Wiles. And there is a small circle of people who know what's going on with Donald Trump, what's going on with Donald Trump's health, and that there is a musical chairs going on in back rooms about trying to prop up JD Vance while Stephen Miller and Russ Vought are running the country.
That's very true.
Donald Trump is not running the country. This is why he's having these performative community theater cabinet meetings in front of cameras so he can make it look like he's doing something. Mm-hmm. He's not doing shit. They asked him about habeas corpus. He goes, who?
The what?
Yeah, he goes, who?
He doesn't know.
No clue what that even means. He's not even good about it.
No, he knows like 3 words. He knows insurrection. That's a big word for him. So he learned that one. He knows that. Oh, that means I can go and break stuff and arrest people. Right. I like that word. I'll pick that. He likes tariffs.
Asylum, even though he doesn't know what that means.
Right.
He thinks people seeking asylum means insane asylum, because every time he talks about immigrants coming here, he's like coming from insane asylums. And I'm always
seeking. It took me a while to realize that he was mixing up the definition of that word, because I kept saying like, why is he so obsessed with insane asylums? First of all, that's like, so nobody even uses that term anymore.
No, it's like a very antiquated thing.
Right. I'm like, why? But he's like, it's stuck in his craw. Why? And then, that's why, because he doesn't understand what claiming asylum is. This dumbass.
He just heard it once, and now he's like, insane asylum, and no one corrects him because they're afraid to correct him. But meanwhile, so Marjorie Taylor Greene is out here, right? And she's thinking, okay, I'm going to run for higher office. She wants to run for governor of Georgia. I think she wants to run for president one day.
I mean. Why not?
Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you in this climate? But there's other Republicans are out here trying to toe the line, putting on these little acts, and they're having to double and triple down because now they cannot backtrack. Mm-hmm. And this is where I think MAGA's, I mean, listen, people have the memories of Goldfish, so who knows? But people like Mike Lawler, who, as a teenager, whose parents flew him to California to attend Michael Jackson's trial, which is so weird, and went in blackface to Halloween, but whatever. So he's out here.
His Michael Jackson obsession is,
bordering on something else. I don't know. It's very strange.
I mean, I was obsessed with Michael Jackson as a kid in the 80s.
Abdul. But I
had the glove and the beaded jean jacket. I used to do Michael Jackson like impersonations with my mom's friend's band when I was 8 at amusement parks, and I would sing Beat It, and I knew all the choreography and all of that. Okay. However, the trial was in 2008 or whatever that was. We're talking this century, folks. This century.
Yeah.
Who wants to go to the trial of like sexually molesting children trial?
And as a teenager, a high school student, his parents bought him a plane ticket to fly to Los Angeles to sit in the courthouse and watch this. So this is the same man who is now serving in the state of New York as a congressperson in Westchester County. And
Hopefully not for long.
Hopefully not for long. Trying to get all up in it, trying to have a moment with Hakeem Jeffries. And out came Brooklyn Hakeem.
Yes, I'm here for this.
So here is the clip. It's great.
Yeah, let me ask you a question. Did you get permission from your boss?
Why don't we sign on right now?
Did your boss, Donald Trump?
Easily extend
Did your
right
boss,
now.
Donald Trump,
He's
give
not
you
my
permission?
boss.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not. And by the way,
So let me ask you a
why
question.
did you vote to
Let me
shut
ask
the
you a
government
question.
down?
You
Why
know I
did you
didn't-
vote to shut
Let
it
me
down?
ask you a question.
For years, you always
You're
lectured about how we need to
you're
keep the government open.
making a show of this to
No,
make
it's
yourself
sad.
relevant.
It's sad. You could
It's
easily
an
sign on to
You're
this.
embarrassing
You
yourself
could
right
sign
now.
on to this. The only
You're
embarrassment here
chasing
is
clout.
you.
You're an
You
embarrassment.
could sign on to the bill.
Let me ask you a question.
You have 4 Democrats on here.
Let me
Why
ask you a
won't you
question.
sign on
Let me
to
ask you a
it?
question.
It's a
Let
clean
me ask you
extension
a
for 1
question.
year.
You voted for the one big
Clean
ugly bill,
extension.
correct?
I voted for a
The
tax
largest-
cut bill that gave the largest tax cut
the
to
largest-
Americans in history,
the
including, by
largest-
the way, the average New Yorker getting a $4,000 tax cut. Are you against that?
You're embarrassing
Do you wanna,
yourself right
you want
now.
to cut the standard deduction in
The
half? Is that
largest
what you
cut
wanna
to
do?
Medicaid in
No, we
American
voted
history.
out
You
waste,
voted for that.
fraud, and abuse, by the
You
way.
voted
Tom DiNapoli, the
for a
Democratic
permanent-
controller of New York,
Let me ask you a question.
pointed out that $1.2
If
billion
you're
were
gonna
wasted.
listen, you're not gonna talk. You're not gonna talk to me.
Wasted
You're not gonna
on
talk to me
fraud
and talk
and
over
non-New
me
York residents
because you don't
getting
want to
paid.
hear what I have to say.
Oh, I'm
So
listening.
why
Go
don't you
ahead.
just keep your mouth shut?
Oh,
Because you
is
showed
that- is
up.
that the way to
You
talk?
showed up. You showed up.
Yeah.
And so you voted for this one
I
big
signed
ugly
on to
bill.
this. You can extend it
A
right now.
permanent extension of massive tax breaks for your billionaire
So
donors.
90% of Americans.
So they can get a permanent.
Okay. Let me say a couple things about this. Okay. Hakeem Jeffries grew up in Crown Heights.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Lawler grew up in Suffern.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm from Bergen County, New Jersey. I know Suffern.
Yeah.
It ain't Crown Heights.
Mm-hmm.
So there was
like somewhere
Suffern.
between suburban and rural is like Suffern.
Yes.
Like,
Suffern's a lovely little village town
Yes.
right over the border from Jersey.
the episode of Sex and the City where Carrie Bradshaw, you know, when she's dating Aiden and he makes her go to the cabin in the woods and she's like, it's in Suffern.
Right, which
So-
is so funny because it's not even Suffern isn't even that rural. Like it's there's some woods there, right? It's like it borders the Ramapo Valley, you know,
Right.
mountains over there and stuff. And
Westchester County, right?
it's
Yeah.
what?
Or is it Westchester or Rockland County?
It is. It's Rockland. It's Rockland County. It's right over the border. And we used to run track there over there in the Rockland County Community College, not far
Yeah.
from there.
Yeah.
Indoor track meets. I actually dislocated my hip doing indoor hurdles there, which I'll never forget. That was very painful. I was a high jumper, so rehabbing that sucked. But anyway, I'll never forget that. But anyway, that's Suffern. That ain't Brooklyn.
No,
So-
especially during that time when he was growing up, which is like the 70s, right?
Yes, like
Which like Crown Heights was a different kind of place than it
It
is.
was like it. Listen, my husband is from East Flatbush. Like Brooklyn is Brooklyn. It ain't Suffern.
Yeah.
There was no competition there.
And it's not gentrified Brooklyn that it is now.
That is correct. It's not. We're not talking like Bushwick and Williamsburg. No.
Talking about
Not
one
Prospect Heights.
with
Okay,
Edith Button. No, different.
Prospect Park or whatever it is, right? Park. Or what's the other one?
Prospect Heights.
Park Slope. Like
Park
it's not that part. Not that part where it's like $5 million for a 1-bedroom townhouse. It's not that part. So Mike Lawler is a poser. If we want to take it back, he's one of those. He's a poser. He's trying to be a tough guy. Okay. And he's not. And we are proud to say we brought on his opponent, Kate Connolly,
Yep.
who is a former Special Forces
Mhm.
military veteran
Impressive.
who is a kick-ass candidate against him, and she makes him look like the little wee tiny poser that he is, trying to be a tough guy because he thinks he's going to talk over people. He pulled that shit on air a couple weeks ago on CNN, I believe it
Really
was,
trying to do it. You know what
where
I mean?
he literally talked for 45 seconds straight over the interviewer. It was a woman. I can't remember if it was, I don't think it was Dana Bash. It was somebody else, but
I
it
remember.
was so obnoxious. He just kept talking for 45 seconds, which is what he does. He thinks he's going to overtalk people, and then he's going to somehow bully his way because he's such a bitch that he thinks that if he just keeps talking over people, that's going to work. Like, fuck off. Okay, first of all, you're like 5'8" too. He's a little guy. So like, I cannot with this guy.
Like, as a short person, like, nothing annoys me more than other short people who are like this. I'm like, stop.
I know.
Be normal. Do you know what I'm saying?
I know.
Like, stop.
I know.
Overcompensate and just be a normal person, and no one will even notice that you're short.
It's just it's so unbecoming and obvious, the Napoleonic complex here.
Exactly.
So he really thought he walked into a world of hurt with Hakeem, and I'm glad that Brooklyn, because he actually said this on an interview shortly after this incident happened with our good friend JoJo over on her network, The Siren, and they got the exclusive. Do we have that clip?
I got 2 clips.
Yes. Yeah. Let's show it.
Not the one. Don't come for me unless I send for you.
Mike Lawler got in your face and words were exchanged. And for a moment there, I saw you square up and I was like, oh, snap, it's about to go down.
You want to hear what I have to say?
Oh, I'm listening.
So why
Go
don't you
ahead.
just keep your mouth shut? Mike Lawler, who's a complete and total fraud, is waiting outside to step to me. And I'm like, this guy? So, you know, I think some of my team would have probably preferred that I just ignore him. But I'm like, you know what? I'm not the one. Don't come for me unless I send for you. And I did not send for this malignant clown. And so we, you know, had a conversation. But you're right. I haven't seen the video yet, but there was a moment that I think he thought he was confronting Beltway Hakeem, but he saw Brooklyn Hakeem. And it definitely took a lot of restraint for it not to go down any further.
Here's the next clip. Here we go.
Marjorie Taylor Greene has called out her own leadership for how little they have worked in the last several months.
I think it's a major failure from the Republican Party, and my own adult children can hardly afford health insurance premiums.
Marjorie Taylor Greene, God bless her heart. I mean, she is blasting them because she knows in her own district, the Republican healthcare crisis is ripping healthcare away, closing hospitals and nursing homes, and making healthcare unaffordable because of the refusal to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits. They shut the government down, and they clearly are on the run. None of them are on the same page. They're in complete disarray, and Democrats have been unified because we're fighting for the American people.
If this was the Hakeem Jeffries that came out all the time, I would be like, hell yeah, dude.
Yes.
I'd be like, I mean, not that I have any money to give him, but I would if I did. And like, that's the kind of fight, and that's the kind of authenticity.
Yes.
That is needed.
That's the kinds of balls you need in a moment like this. Hakeem's Brooklyn balls dropped finally. And now he's finally able to be like, okay, I've had it. And it's because Donald Trump came after him with that sombrero stuff and disrespected him in the Oval Office.
To a new place.
And Hakeem was like, nah. Like, I'm gonna have to, like, you know, put the sneakers on and tie up my shoelaces and like take it back to the playground. And that's what he needs to do. That's what the people have been craving. Even Chuck Schumer is out there with a couple of social media videos trying to be like, meh, 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 meh. We don't want that, Chuck. Hakeem can do it.
And
we don't need you.
Hakeem Jeffries too. He doesn't need to like act cool. He doesn't need to pretend he's cool. If he's just himself, like, dude, you are cool. Like, you're cooler than all these people, okay? Because they're all crusty, dusty, old, bags from wherever, and they're trying to come all up in your space. And just be normal and be yourself and be the leader that everyone elected you to be.
Yes.
And we'll be fine.
Yes. And believe me, there are a lot of people on his team that absolutely were like, yes, boss, we've been telling you to do this for months. Believe me. Okay. Believe me. So I hope the Brooklyn Hakeem stays. I hope that way Hakeem needs to be retired. We don't want that Hakeem.
He said, he goes, I'm sure there's people on my team that wish that I wouldn't do this. And I'm like, your people are advising you poorly.
Yeah, if that's true. Correct.
If that's true.
Yes.
Advising you poorly because these, again, are probably a bunch of staffers who aren't from New York, who live in Arlington, you know, and have like lived and worked in DC, and they're little DC robots, which
Yes.
like, okay, fine. There's a place for that, right? But like the problem with DC people, and this is why people get so frustrated with Washington, is because they do not step out of the Beltway. They do not understand life outside of DC and like the machine of like, you know, eating in the mess hall or whatever with the other senators and the Congress people. Like it's just, it becomes like it's
in the Senate dining room.
Right. That's
which is
Senate
quite lovely, by the way.
Right. And the gym and whatever else.
Mm-hmm.
It's their life. It's their social lives. It's their families. And they can't step out of it to see how the rest of the country, what they're thinking and what they want.
It's true. It's true. And I think that deep down inside, Hakeem Jeffries does know that because of who he represented, because of where he grew up. Like he understands both sides because he's been in those rooms and he's also been on the other side of it with the people. And so that's why I always say more Brooklyn Hakeem, less Shakespeare in the Park Hakeem. And I like a good alliteration. So more Brooklyn, less Beltway is going to be my new my new expression, courtesy of Hakeem Jeffries finally stepping up.
Yes, and I apologize. There's people in the chat who are telling me I'm blurry, and I'm sorry. I don't know how to fix that right now. So y'all are see my blurry face, and that's
as long as we can hear her, we're good to go. Sometimes the internet can be weird and it gets pixelated. So who knows?
So I apologize in advance. It says, can we get Michelle out of the shower? Apparently, it looks like I'm in a steamy shower.
Oh my God!
I'm sorry, I don't know how to fix this, but
that's weird because that almost never happens for you.
Yeah, so bear with me, guys. I'm sorry. About but in the meantime, I don't know if you saw Senator Brian Schatz actually went on a tirade against.
I did not, because I don't monitor him as closely as you do, because I'm not as fond of him as you are, Michelle. Michelle has a crush.
No, I don't.
Yes,
Stop.
You do.
No, I don't.
Do. It's okay.
No, I don't.
All right.
No, I don't. Anyway, it comes up on my feed because I follow him and whatever. It doesn't matter. It comes up on my feed. And so, and I think because I interact and I comment a lot, like I do with a lot.
It's a running joke, guys. It's a running joke.
Anyways, I don't know him. I've never met him. Anyway,
she hasn't. It's true. I know his chief of staff. She's a good friend of mine, and I bust chops all the time about this.
But I am a fan. I really am a fan.
No, because
he seems, except for the CR thing, which the
CR thing, we were very mad at him for a little bit. He was in timeout for us, but he's been doing better.
Like this, and this is why I pulled this. So he kind of was giving it to the House for their lack of, I don't know, doing literally anything.
8 of the government shutdown, but it is day 19 of the House being on vacation. How is it possible that the party in charge of the government is sitting at home while the government is shut down? Well, let's take a look. So this is the House schedule. These yellow blocks are work days. It's already a pretty nice schedule. Most people, if they are fortunate, get either 7 days or 10 days of vacation. Some people get less, some people get more, but nobody gets this amount of time off. Now, we call that a district work period or a home work period, and that's true. We need to be home to interact with our constituents, but that's what August is for. So here's what happened. They left early on the 25th, specifically to avoid a vote on the Epstein files. Then they had this week off, 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 this day off, come back. 1, 2, 3, long weekend. 1, 2, 3, 4, long weekend. 1, 2, 3, 4, long weekend, another break, another break, another break, and now they're saying another break. Get back to work. Get back to work. We are facing a healthcare crisis, and we didn't pull.
So he goes on about the healthcare stuff.
I love it.
Like that's the visual that I think people need to see, because like these people are making 6-figure salaries and they're not doing shit.
And it's all because Mike Johnson is too scared to bring the House back into session, as Marjorie Taylor Greene, actually made the point on CNN today. She's right. There is a Democratic member of Congress who was just elected in a special election in Arizona to replace her dad, Amelita Grijalva. And she would be the 218th vote for a discharge petition to get a vote on the Epstein files release. What's a discharge petition? For those who don't know, it is a way of bypassing the rules of the speaker who controls what bills come to the floor. There's all kinds of parliamentary things that happen. But if you have something that the speaker's refusing to bring it to the House floor, you can do what's called a discharge petition, which basically discharges the normal rules of order to bring a vote to the House if you have the majority of the House say, we want to do this. So that very rarely do discharge petitions actually make the threshold. So this is a rare thing. It's happened, but very rarely. And the Epstein files has enough bipartisan support to bring it to a vote. She would be the 218th vote. So that's why. So it happens to coincide with the government shutdown. So he's blaming it on that.
They've shut down the government to protect pedophiles. Correct. They have shut down the government to protect pedophiles. They are furloughing workers and not paying members of the military who are sacrificing their lives for our freedoms to protect pedophiles, people who sexually assault children. It is that simple.
Yep.
It is.
And the fact that Marjorie Taylor Greene and a handful of others are making that point again, I will say it again, to the Democratic organizations that have lots of money. You guys should be putting this out there. We'll be happy to make the ads. We can do it.
We'll do it.
Send us the money. We'll be happy to do it. It's not that hard, but it does take money to place it and make. But anyway, they should be using this to set the narrative, because there's two things going on here. Yes, Mike Johnson's doing the bidding of Donald Trump and keeping the government shut down so that they can fuck up other federal agencies they don't like, a la Project 2025, which we warned about back in July last year. It was one of our first rapid response videos about pay attention to Project 2025. And now we're living it because they're like halfway done with it. But it's also because they don't want to vote on the Epstein files. Well, he's not going to be able to keep this for much longer, okay? Because Republicans are literally starting to feel this with their constituents, and they know that the healthcare issue is a salient one, and they know that their people are getting fucked. And we're like, no kidding, because the shutdown doesn't just impact red states, blue states. It impacts everybody, everyone.
What is it that you always say, that 80% of federal workers, 85% of federal workers live outside Washington, D.C. area?
That is correct. And you know what? Today on C-SPAN, and again, cut this for an ad. This woman called in. She's a military wife. Called in while Mike Johnson was on C-SPAN and let him have it. We have the clip. It's worth listening to. This woman is a Republican, but this is the type of voter that Donald Trump and Republicans have betrayed, and we need more of them to wake up. This is the example right here.
Republican line, Fort Belvoir, Virginia. Samantha, you're on with Speaker Johnson.
Hi, Mr. Johnson. So my question or comments are related to what you said yesterday about not being open to pass any legislation to ensure that military gets paid. I'm sure you can tell by my voice I'm very shaky. Just want you to hear a little bit about my family. I have two medically fragile children. I have a husband who actively serves this country. He suffers from PTSD from his 2 tours in Afghanistan. If we see a lapse in pay come the 15th, my children do not get the medication that's needed for them to live their life, because we live paycheck to paycheck. I heard you earlier say that you side with President Trump on anything that he says. Well, I just read an article this morning that said he absolutely wholeheartedly believes that there needs to be legislation put in so that we do not miss a paycheck. You have the power to do that. And as a Republican, I'm very disappointed in my party, and I'm very disappointed in you, because you do have the power to call the House back. You did that, or you refused to do that just for a show. I am begging you to pass this legislation. My kids could die. We don't have the credit because of the medical bills that I have to pay regularly. You could stop this, and you could be the one that could say military is getting paid. And I think that it is awful. And the audacity of someone who makes six figures a year to do this to military families is insane.
All right.
And look at him just.
Because they're pathological.
A shit. He doesn't give a shit about you. He only cares about himself and the people around him. That is it.
Yep.
That is it.
That is it. And saving his own ass and whatever else he likes to do with his ass. I don't know. But
he's got in his closet that he's trying to.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, there's so much weirdness actually going on with that guy too. Please.
Freak. There is shit going on with him. Listen, anybody who says openly and publicly that he and his son have to monitor each other for how much porn that they look at, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's super weird.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. And also it's weird. Well, the whole black son adoption thing too. And then, like he's disappeared out of his own family. He's like not in the Christmas card pictures anymore. And we've never heard a peep out of him.
Stopped him when he was a single man, which I'm sorry.
Yes.
So weird.
Yes. Who does that? I mean, if it's in good faith, okay, God bless. But like, I don't think this is like the Sandra Bullock adopting black kids from New Orleans during like Katrina type of situation adoption. I don't think it was that. No. So, it's giving Nestor vibes. It's giving Matt Gaetz Nestor vibes, which that's a whole nother thing.
I will never forget seeing that tweet. My son Nestor. I was like, I'm sorry, what?
Well, I remember that day. The chats blew up. We were like, excuse me? Wait a minute.
What?
Who? What? Anyway. But yes, but that woman, God bless her for being honest. Fort Belvoir is actually not far from where I live. And I live near, there's Quantico, there's Fort Belvoir, there's a lot of military here, a lot of federal workers here. I mean, it drives the Northern Virginia economy. The shutdown is only helping Abigail Spanberger pull further away from Winsome Sears, who is a lunatic, but like Looney Tunes, like legit Looney Tunes, this woman. But people, this is real though. The point is that that woman encapsulates a lot of Trump supporters.
Yep.
Because they thought that he was for them. He's not. And they're starting to see it. This actually is backfiring on Republicans. Democrats are winning the messaging war, which is the first time we've said that ever since Trump got back. And they need to continue to hold the line. And this is what we need. And this is so important because, and this is the last topic we're going to get into tonight because my Giants are playing. And I saw somebody say that they were up 14-3 against the Eagles. So
better than the Yankees.
I mean, I'm so, the Yankees, that's what they get for honoring Charlie Kirk. They curse themselves for the rest of the season. And that's what they freaking get. And I hate to say that as a Yankee fan, but that's what they get.
Okay. Vaseline lens. I know. I know my connection is
weird. Do you want to sign off and come back? Try to sign off and come back.
All right. Let me do that.
Okay. So while you do that, I will set up because we're going to talk about Chicago so we can play our video out and end the show on that because it's a lot and we have our bright spot. So while Michelle figures out what's happening with her screen, many of you know that I talk about it a lot, how I'm a proud granddaughter of a police captain and wife of a federal law enforcement officer, and that I bleed blue, and that my advocacy for law enforcement officers has been something that I pride myself on and something that I've done proudly for my whole life. And I wrote a Substack on this and posted it today. So if you're not following me on Substack, over on Uncompromised with Tara is my Substack. It's called Dishonoring the Badge. Watching what's going on in Chicago and Portland and still happening here in Washington, D.C. There's still National Guard troops that are out there in the streets here in Washington. It's asinine and a waste of resources. And now you are clear, Michelle. See, that's all you needed to do.
No, everyone's saying it's the same.
So. It is? I thought you look better than you did initially.
I don't know. Sorry, guys.
I don't know. It's weird. Somebody said the lens is giving Sunset Boulevard.
I can't win.
Oh my gosh. Well, we tried.
Sorry.
But anyway, this is what's happening with law enforcement, with ICE and Border Patrol and our marshals and our military, our National Guard being roped into this. Mm-hmm. It's breaking my heart to watch. And I'm disgusted by it. And I wrote a Substack about this today. And it also is in line with a video that Michelle put together for us about the absolute cruelty, inhumanity, unethical, borderline unconstitutional, probably unconstitutional actions happening in Chicago in other places. But right now, Chicago's the epicenter of it. They've moved on because Trump has a bee in his bonnet. He's got to stick up his ass about Chicago because he doesn't like J.B. Pritzker, who has been doing a great job standing up to Donald Trump, telling him to basically fuck off, not here.
I have this clip of him.
Yeah, let's do it. Because Gavin Newsom said the same thing, and Trump kind of backed off it a little bit in L.A. because he had to.
Yep.
And now he's moved on to Chicago, and a judge has been, the judges have stopped it in Portland because there's no war going on in Portland. I guess maybe it's a furry war in Portland. I don't know, but there's not a real insurrection going on there. And there's not an insurrection going on in Chicago either, as much as Donald Trump and them want to lie to you about it. But J.B. Pritzker has been taking it to him and doing this is what we need more of at the state level. This is J.B. Pritzker.
That this is a convicted felon. I mean, think about that, who's threatening to jail me. I got to say, this guy's unhinged. He's insecure. He's a wannabe dictator. And there's one thing I really want to say to Donald Trump. If you come for my people, you come through me. So come and get me.
Good for him. Good for him.
Mm-hmm.
That's the energy. That's the energy. That's just like you've got Brooklyn Hakeem, you've got Chicago JB.
Yeah.
That's that you don't mess with people in Chicago.
Listen, I think there's a few reasons why he's like got to bug up his ass about it. J.B. Pritzker is so rich that he doesn't, first of all, maybe Donald Trump's richer now because he's been so corrupt in the office of the presidency that he has a lot more money now.
Rich. He's paper rich, not real rich. Like
Pritzker is like a legit, like generationally wealthy person. So there's that. He doesn't really care, and he doesn't care what you think. I think he's also got to bug up his ass because of Rahm Emanuel. When Rahm Emanuel was mayor of Chicago, there was all these fights about the Trump building. Remember, like on the on the water, and there was like a whole thing about that.
Yes.
Then there's also Barack Obama is from Chicago. He's a senator from Illinois. I think there's so many layers here.
Yes.
To him having a bug up his ass.
Yep.
And I think also Chicago, because of like the crime and Black people.
I was going to say, Black people live in Chicago.
Black people live in Chicago. And Illinois is not really like a swing state or anything. So what does he care?
And Black mayor also Chicago.
Black, of course. And so I think for all these reasons and probably just others, he feels threatened and like annoyed by it.
Yep. So Donald Trump has empowered his ICE thugs to go in and terrorize neighborhoods in Chicago. This has been going on for over a week now. And now they've activated the National Guard, bringing them in from Texas against Donald Trump's, against J.B. Pritzker's wishes, which is, again, not supposed to.
Value. Like, let's talk about this for a second.
Yeah.
Sending the National Guard of Texas to invade the state of Illinois. Can you imagine if it was the other way around?
Forget it. Same thing with Portland. That's why the judge in Portland stopped it.
Right.
Temporarily.
This is invasion. This is red states invading blue states. And these are people who live in other parts of the country. Now, the National Guard are people, firefighters, teachers, nurses, people who are just living their lives and get called up to serve.
Yes.
Away from their regular jobs.
Yes.
In these parts of the country also, they consume a lot of conservative news, a lot of conservative talking points about cities, and they dehumanize us. They dehumanize people who live in cities, that we are like animals and dirty and we can't be trusted and we're awful and we're this, that. Complete dehumanization across the board, calling us vermin, all kinds of things, right? So when these people get sent into a city like Chicago or New York or Portland or any other place, they already have, I'm not saying all of them, but I'm saying probably some of them going in with a preconceived notion about what these cities are and the people.
That's right. That's
and
right.
That makes it even scarier.
And that's the point. That's why Trump does this. That's why Trump talked about American carnage and all of this horrible description of America, where it's like, where is that at? Like, what are you talking about?
Right.
Is there crime? Yes, there is. Could they do better in some neighborhoods in some of our urban cities? Yes, but there's also a whole host of reasons as to why that is that no one wants to address.
I feel less safe when I'm in the suburbs, if I'm going to be quite honest.
I mean,
I feel less safe with gun violence. I feel less safe in parking lots. I feel less safe across the board than I do walking down the streets of New York City. And that's just the truth.
Yeah, I mean, there's an argument that could be made there with that for different dynamics, but it's not, it's not the
I'm
roving.
and I get sat at a table with somebody. Oh, you're from New York, or about that crime? And I'm like, my husband and I are like daggers, and
Of course,
let them about this. I'm like, don't come at me.
Yeah, exactly.
We're the safest big cities in the world. Like,
that is correct. That is correct. Same thing with like Portland, and it's just not. It's all just to feed a certain authoritarian narrative, like you said, to otherize anyone who's not a white Christian man.
Right.
Bottom line. And if you notice that a lot of these thugs that are carrying out these ICE operations are men. You don't see the women out there doing that.
Very few. I've only seen maybe like 5.
A handful. And they're not the ones that are yoking people up and throwing them to the ground and doing and violating rights and yanking people out. This isn't in the video, but just today, or was it yesterday, where they yanked that woman and her sister out of their minivan as they were picking their kids up from school. Like, it's like, what the fuck? It's just it's just enraging. And as I was saying, when you came off and came back, that I had to write a Substack about it because
I saw
that it's just killing me. I advocated for Border Patrol agents.
Mm-hmm.
I was proud of that. It's one of the proudest moments of my accomplishments of my professional career, and I would do it all over again back then. But the agencies that I advocated for, that I stepped in the breach for, that is not what's happening today.
Anymore, really.
And
not the same way.
It's not, and it dishonors everyone that took an oath to honor their oath, and to dishonors the badge and what they actually, the good officers who actually take what they do seriously, who are professionals, who don't dehumanize people. And we need more of them to stand up and say no and stop. We really do. But right now we're not seeing that in the federal agencies. That's right.
It's broken.
That's correct.
And it could be broken forever.
I mean, broken in a way that
could, and enforcement in general. I mean, there's already been a distrust, from George Floyd and a lot of the deaths that have happened, especially to Black men and women. I mean, there's already a level of distrust.
There is.
Has brought things to new heights, and people don't want to, report crimes. They don't want to go to the cops anymore. They don't want to even deal with them at all because they're afraid of what's going to happen to them.
And that shouldn't be.
Happen to the people in their communities.
That's right. And that shouldn't be, because being a law enforcement officer and protecting and serving used to be an honorable career. Yeah. And, very, very, people know how we feel. Your dad was a fireman. My grandfather was a volunteer fireman, but he was a police captain and on the force for 40 years. He was number 6 in my hometown police department. Okay. My family has been in Paramus, New Jersey for 100 years, from the beginning of the town when it was just rice fields and wild turkeys running around. So, not rice, celery fields and turkeys running around. Paramus means land of the wild turkey in Lenape. But anyway, so this is near and dear to me. And so all of this coming together at once, Michelle was like, we got to do something showing the inhumanity. And so Michelle went ahead and put this together. It's called Code Red. I want to prepare people. I was going to do the bright spot before it to get people, but we can't. We can't. We gotta let it sit for a second and end on the bright spot, because after you watch this, you're going to need it.
Mm-hmm.
Here it is, Code Red. It's a couple minutes long. Be prepared, folks, but we have to show what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And here it is.
This American carnage stops right here and stops right now.
Donald Trump intends to use the United States military against American citizens who simply disagree with him.
The fact of the matter is, a half a dozen violent criminals.
People he calls, quote, the enemy from within.
You don't have the authority to arrest U.S. citizens asking for a judicial warrant.
Oh my God!
And I told Pete we should use some of these dangerous cities as training grounds for our military, National Guard, but military.
The president said he's directed Secretary of War Pete Hegseth to provide all necessary troops.
I am also authorizing full force if necessary.
Well, the broader goal, I believe, is the militarization of major American cities before the 2026 elections. They have dressed ICE and CBP in fatigues, put them in military gear, including with automatic weapons, and had them marching up and down major streets in downtown Chicago. It's a signal that they're trying to send that it's okay to have troops on your street, that this would be a welcome thing.
Truck scene.
One of them literally laughed. He was standing right here. He said, them kids.
See, Hispanic people not doing nothing bad. I'm not gonna have nothing. It's the first day of school for me.
Some people hate you. What do you say to them? Because
I don't know what I'm gonna eat.
We're under siege. We're being invaded by our own military.
Ordering the Department of Justice to investigate his enemies.
While America is under invasion from within, we're under invasion from within.
in the middle of the night, hundreds of armed federal agents and police, backed up by riot trucks, smoke grenades, and helicopters in an immigration raid on an entire apartment building.
Kids was crying, people was screaming.
They pulled dozens of residents from their homes and zip ties, including children.
I was out there crying when I seen the little girl come around the corner, because they was bringing the kids out too, had them zip tied to each other.
Some of them without any clothes. They then held some outside for hours and dragged the others into rented vans.
You have nothing. You are nothing. You are wickedness. You are hatred.
It's poisoning the blood of our country.
Stay in your cars! Tell everyone to stay in their houses!
He is now threatening to deport American citizens.
We pledge to you that we will root out radical left thugs that live like vermin.
We're here for you. The ICE agents held their 5-year-old daughter outside their home to get her father to surrender.
Our students were put in handcuffs. Our 10th grader was, our 11th grader was, and their mother.
I know what's going on in our world now, and I understood that we have some students who are vulnerable, but I did not see this as being our reality. It's been traumatic. Our community is shook.
They're poisoning the blood of our country. That's what they've done.
This is it. This is it. We're losing this country. We're losing it in real time. This is a chaos presidency. He is a wrecking ball. This is unlike anything we've experienced in our lifetime. It is code red.
Another banger. And I mean, just if you watch that and you are not disgusted, there's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with you. I don't care what side of the issue you're on. As a Christian, the Christians that hide behind the cross, I talk about this all the time, how disgusted I am with them and their hypocrisy. Make it make sense. Explain to me how that is okay with the teachings of Jesus and Christianity. It's not. It's not. So kudos, Michelle, for putting that together and having to endure that. It's emotional. It's tough. I actually, when I finally had a chance to watch it in its entirety yesterday, for me, and I'm not a big crier, but like, again, it's like, how could you not? How could you not?
I know. I came into this work not being an editor, and I've taught myself some very minimal skills. But if there's one thing I do know how to do, it is how to tell a story. And this is the story that needs to be told.
Yep.
Like every atrocity that is happening in the world now, or that has ever happened in the world, we cannot look away.
Nope.
We have to bear witness to what is happening. We have to do something about it. And for me, you know, me doing something about it is connecting the dots, and at Seneca Project, you know, putting these things together to tell the story so that people can see it plainly, because we're inundated with so much information and so many points of view and opinions, and it's hard to sift through it all and make sense. But when you see things like that with an arc from beginning to end, and you can see it in front of you, it's hard to deny.
That's right.
And, you know, this is real. This is happening. We are not trying to prevent an authoritarian takeover. We are in the middle of one. And the sooner that the country wakes up, there are more of us. There are more of us. And I mean citizens of the United States of America versus the people who are trying to do this. There are more of us. And I don't care if you voted for Donald Trump 1 time, 2 times. I don't care if you voted for him 3 times. If you wake up tomorrow and you realize that this is messed up, and you decide you want to come over to our side and you want to fight back and you want to fight for the country that we all love, I welcome you. I welcome.
We have to. I mean, we have to, because even people who were responsible for this, if you ever want to try to pay your penance for getting us here, fighting against it is a good place to start.
Yeah.
And that starts with speaking up, sharing things like this, making people face the choices that they've made,
and
saying, what are you going to do now? Because history is watching. History is watching. And we are called at this moment to either stand up or stand by, right? That's my TED Talk. It's out now. Go check it out. Are you going to stand by, or are you going to stand up? That's what needs to happen. That goes to all of those officers who are faced with making decisions. Those officers can make a decision every day to either engage in this unconstitutional, inhumane Gestapo shit, or they can say, no, I will not. And at some point, do what those Nazi soldiers didn't do in the 1930s and 40s. Don't be them. When the history books are written, don't be them.
Because there will come a day.
That's correct.
Let me promise you, there will come a day when everybody, from Stephen Miller down to this little ICE agent in, you know, who cares?
Wherever.
Little town in America.
Yep.
You are all going to pay the price. You are all going to be held accountable, and you will be tried in front of a jury of your own peers. And you will be held responsible for this. You will. And people will go to jail for the rest of their lives. It's going to happen. And I have to believe that.
Well, that only happens if we stand up now.
That's right.
We let it slip away, and we don't have the powers of our democracy still available to us, then they will never pay a price. And then all is lost. That's why we do what we do. That's why we stay in the fight. And that's why it matters now. They want us to be despondent. They want us to be run down and say, well, it's over. What's the point? That's what they want. But we still have the opportunity to stop this. We do. And
they keep trying to create an illusion that it's gone. They're trying to create the illusion that we don't have freedom of speech, that we don't have freedom to assemble. So until it is gone, listen, we'll know when it's gone.
Right.
It's in danger.
Yes. We're on the path. Okay.
Seriously, but it's not gone yet.
That's right. It's not gone yet.
He made this argument on his TikTok or something the other day, and he said they're creating the illusion that it's gone, but it's not. So
that's why they yell. That's why they're very loud. That's why Stephen Miller Kirk's out on TV and screams about plenary powers and all of that bullshit, and Tom Holman, all these guys, all these tough guys, I don't care about blah, 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 blah. Well, that's because they're trying to intimidate. And we say, not no, but hell no, you're going to have to go through all of us if you think you're going to achieve that level of power.
That's
and
right.
that's why next weekend on October 18th, it's important that everyone get out and show their love of country in peaceful protests across the country. We are partnering with No Kings again. We're working on some promo videos that will be ready soon. But it's really, really important that you guys do that. We have to show solidarity for what's right and tell them, just like we did on June 14th, it's important that we do it again. A lot of people are scared and they're saying, I don't know, this time we can't be. That's what they want. And that makes them, then they win. Then the bad guys win. And we cannot do that. This is not, we're not going to let them rewrite history. We're not going to let them do this.
If you're a white person and you are a citizen of this country, your ass better be out there. There is no excuse. There is no excuse. We have the privilege. We have the privilege of the color of our skin and our passport to be able to go out. We have less to lose.
That's true. That is true. Actually, that is true.
I will speak for all the white people. Your asses better be out there. Mine will be. And I hate this stuff. It makes me anxious.
I know.
Crowds in general. Like I'm not saying like protests, but crowds in general. Anxious. But I'm popping a Xanax and I'm going out.
Well, that whatever it takes, right? Whatever it takes,
whatever you got to do,
whatever you got to do, but you got to do it. And we need to send a message. We can't let them win. They have to come through us. And that's the goal here. And that's why we do it. And for folks who appreciate the work that we do and want us to keep doing it, you have to support us financially. It's it's a struggle every day for us. We should have millions of dollars in the bank. We do not anywhere close to that. I wish we did. Hopefully one day someone will be able to write that check for us. But in the meantime, we have to, we're a paycheck to paycheck organization. Honestly, month to month, we're not sure if we'll be here next month. Today, I have no idea if we'll be able to keep doing this 3 weeks from now. So for all of you who have supported us, thank you. Thank you. If you can continue to financially support us, thank you. Every cent matters here. And for those who can't, share our content. Share our content. Tell people to watch us so they can be informed and they can be empowered with the information that they need to go out there and do that part of it, because everybody has a role in this and we appreciate that. And unfortunately, we cannot take money from our friends in Canada or out of the country. It's against the law, but you can share our videos because that's not against the law yet. That's not against the law yet. So on that note, I want to end on our bright spot because that was so heavy. We have 2 bright spots for you tonight. We're going to start with a bright spot of this baker in Charlotte, North Carolina. He is an immigrant who came to this country 25 years ago, did not speak English, came here, went to college, got married, opened up a bakery, bought a bakery, opened it up, and has been giving back to the community in the country that helped him live the American dream by baking cakes for the local homeless in his community. Now, as someone who started a homeless program with my mom in South Florida, my mom actually started, I just helped her. This really touched me. She actually found this story and said, I know you'll love this for your bright spot, Tara, because of 2 things. Also for our love and work that we did with the homeless and helping to reunite so many with their families and the stories and getting to know folks. Like, these aren't just people who choose to be homeless or they're just drug addicts for no reason. Every single one of those persons has a story. They have a history and they are human and they're worth being saved. And so we've seen that. And my mom, God bless her, did that for 10 years. And I watched her change lives. This gentleman right here did something similar. When you birthday cakes, he decided, how can I give back? Well, he went to one of the local programs there in Charlotte and was asking, you know, what do you guys do for their birthdays? And they're like, well, not really anything. So he started baking cakes and it became a tradition. He's been doing it for 12 years. He's baked 300 cakes. Now, my grandfather used to always say, rest in peace, Gramps. This is very heavy this week because I also said my grandfather's spinning in his grave as a law enforcement officer, seeing what's happening today. But my grandfather used to always say, it's not a birthday unless you have a cake. So even for us, it doesn't matter where we are, you have to have a cake and candles to blow out, or it's not a birthday. Well, this gentleman right here, Mr. Manolo, felt the same way. And he just recently found out that one of the testimonials from one of the homeless, he says, we don't call them homeless, we call them our neighbors. And I loved that because that's true. You know, they are your neighbors. You just never know. He said that one of the recipients of the birthday cake said it was the first time in their life that they'd ever had a birthday cake. First time. Thanks to him. That changed that person's life, I can guarantee you, because it made them feel worth it enough to get a cake. So imagine. So next time you hear people like Donald Trump or any cruel people that dismiss the homeless or, people who are in need, just think about that. Just think about the simple acts of kindness and what difference that can make for folks. So
it can give people a reason to live.
That's correct. So Gramps, that's right. This is a bright spot dedicated to my grandfather as well as my Substack was. So is this. So it's not officially your birthday till you have a cake. So thank you. If you live in Charlotte, North Carolina, please support this man and his bakery. I don't have my glasses, Michelle. Can you see the name of his bakery?
Manolo's Bakery.
Is it called Manolo's?
Yeah, Manolo Betancourt.
Yeah, Betancourt. He's from Colombia. Yeah,
owner of Manolo's Bakery in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yeah. So one of my best friends from high school, her family just moved to Charlotte last year, and I'm going to call her up and say, you guys need to go and support Manolo's Bakery. Yeah. I don't care what you need to do. I'll order the cake. You go get it, because this is the type of business that we want. And this is a gentleman who came to this country to live the American dream and was able to do this. That's the American dream. Yeah. That's what makes America great. And Donald Trump and MAGA hate this. And too bad. We're not going to let that humanity go without recognition.
The man has been making vanilla sheet cakes with either caramel or peaches for their birthdays for the past 12 years. Manolo's delivered 300 cakes, like you said. Making people's birthdays special in such a way has come with great feeling for the baker as well. Somebody from the nonprofit approached me one day and said, Manolo, are you the cake guy? The man confirmed that it was indeed the cake guy. And the team member went on to reveal that one person he delivered the cake had gotten very emotional, like you said. So
he said it was the most important cake from this bakery. It revealed it was the first time he was ever going to have a cake on his birthday. He said, Manolo said that moment meant the world to me. And there it is. So God bless you, Manolo. You're a great American, buddy. So that's our bright spot. However, we have one more bright spot before we go, and we cannot leave the show tonight without sending our congratulations to our very own Mallory Hagan Stamara, who is our National Press Secretary, who just gave birth to her first child. There he is, Park Hagan Stamara. Entered the world last Saturday at a whopping 6 pounds, 6.5 pounds, 18 inches. There's Mallory and her hubby, Kevin. Big congrats to them. Mallory has been a trooper. You wouldn't even know she was pregnant. She was
God, no.
She was literally working.
Never said a word.
Honestly. Hours before she had to go in to get induced. She was still working, and she's like, "Okay."
I was like, "Why is Mallory liking this right now?" Like on Instagram, I was like, "Go be."
Yes. She is a toughie, and she gave birth on Saturday, and we're so happy for her and Kevin. So God bless. Welcome to the world, Park Hagan Stamara. And she looks amazing for just giving birth. That photograph is like
Miss America.
That's right. In all things. So there you have it. A lovely new life brought into this world. And that is always a bright spot.
And listen, I've heard from a lot of my friends recently saying, like, I don't know if I want to bring a child into this world right now. Blah, blah, blah. Let me tell you what, bringing a child into this world is probably the most hopeful thing that anybody could do.
That's right.
I was talking to Julie about this a few weeks ago, actually. And she was telling me, she's like, tell anybody, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what's going on in the world. She was like, my father was born in, like, I don't know what she said, something in Russia, like there was a war going on. Like my father was born in like a little cubby hole you know, and look what happened. And look how he went on to become a refugee, an American citizen, and he had me.
Yes.
And he's like, and she's like, and look what I've been able to contribute to the world. So, you know,
absolutely.
it's a very thing to do.
It is a blessing. And if you're able to have children, you're blessed with that. Amen. And do it and raise them to be a good person and have more of us.
So much hope that there's like going to be a mom like Mallory. And
yes.
A little boy. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yes.
I just love it. It's so
me too. I'm so happy for her, and we miss her. We hope she comes back soon. But that little bundle of joy is too cute, and we're very proud aunties. We're the coolest aunties out there. So you're gonna get some show tunes, Park.
Too many, probably.
That's right. All right, guys. Thank you for spending so much time with us tonight. It was a packed show, but necessary. And I'm going to go watch my Giants. Hopefully, they pull a win out for me because I need another bright spot. I would like 3 bright spots.
I've got one of my best friends sitting in the other room right now. I haven't seen since last summer. And we're gonna make martinis, and it's gonna be great.
That I will not talk to you before noon tomorrow, Michelle. Bye, guys. We'll see you on Saturday for Coffee and Conversation over at Mayday. And have a good night and keep speaking up, standing up, and not standing by.
That's right. That's right. Good night, everybody.